This video is for the mobile community, a community which has remained largely ignorant to the things which have gone on the PC and console platforms regarding Warzone and the Modern Warfare games in recent times. Because, like it or not, the majority of people who play mobile games, they play mobile games because they cannot afford a PC or a console, and so they remain largely separated from what goes on those platforms. Now, regarding the most recent installments of the COD franchise, the mobile community just has no idea just how predatory and exploitative the large companies have become, especially Activision in this case, and the tools they use to exploit their victims, in this case which would be us, the mobile community. The subject of this video would be best described as Activision's dirty little secret. A secret they will not speak about publicly, a secret which they protect by putting all their employees under NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, so they cannot speak about it, unless they want to risk severe legal and financial repercussions. It's this secret of theirs which has seen the COD franchise on PC and console lose players year after year after year, yet somehow still make Activision more money than it ever has before. Allow me to introduce you to EOMM, otherwise known as Engagement Optimized Matchmaking. Engagement Optimized Matchmaking, which we shall refer to as EOMM from here on out, is an entirely different thing from SBMM, which we all know. Skill-based matchmaking, which we know as SBMM, when implemented properly, seeks to separate high-skilled players from low-skilled players in the interests of fairness, so that high-skilled players aren't stomping the low-skilled players every game. As we all know, the SB in SBMM stands for skill-based, which means that the matchmaking algorithm being used will select players of a similar skill level to be in a match together. However, with engagement optimized matchmaking, rather than selecting players based on their skill in the interest of fairness, EOMM only takes your skill into account to decide how it is going to manipulate your games to determine a certain outcome. Why does EOMM manipulate your games? In order to optimize your engagement with the game. It seeks to manipulate your games in such a way that you just can't get off the game, much like how gamblers just can't get away from the roulette table, even though it's obvious that the house has rigged the game in their favour. And this is also that if they can get you to think that investing more and more of your time is worth it, eventually you will invest your money into it and keep doing it. This article was published online by the creators of EOMM, and I'll leave a link in the pinned comment so you can read it for yourself. The article states that if a player is given an inconsistent mix of wins and losses, they are more likely to queue up for another match instead of quit the game, and thus stay more engaged for longer. Additionally, Activision themselves have developed several patents which aim to either manipulate the player's gameplay or manipulate the player in such a way that they want to buy more microtransactions. One of these patents, to which I'll leave a link to in the pinned comment, reads as follows. The system may include a microtransaction engine that arranges to influence game-related purchases. For instance, the microtransaction engine may match an expert player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make game-related purchases of items possessed or used by the marquee player. A junior player may wish to emulate the marquee player by obtaining weapons or other items used by the marquee player. So already from this example alone, we can see that Activision purposely uses its matchmaking system for the purposes of getting players to buy microtransactions. But there are even more patents and even more features which people suspect Activision of using in order to manipulate the gameplay of skilled players and unskilled players alike in order to achieve a certain outcome with the goal of encouraging microtransactions and engagement. Here I will outline the various methods which players have suspected Activision of using to achieve the desired outcome of the EOMM algorithm to prolong their engagement with the game, as well as to manipulate the outcome of matches and sell more microtransactions. Hitboxes on FPS games are the areas which you have to shoot on a character in order for damage to be registered. And it's these hitboxes in which players suspect that Activision has been manipulating across all the recent COD titles on PC and console in order to give lower skilled players more of a chance to win. You can look on YouTube for the terms skill-based hitboxes or skill-based hit registration, or you can even look at the patent that Activision themselves registered. The relevant part of the patent here reads as follows. In a first shooter gaming environment, when a first player aims his weapon at a target, a parameter defining the tolerance for how accurate the player's aim must be to hit the target is modified based on the acquired skill level of the player. The computer assigns the tolerance for how accurate the player's aim must be in order to hit the target differently based on the skill level of the first player. A player having a higher skill level will be assigned a lower tolerance parameter and therefore will have to be more accurate in aiming in order to hit the target. A player having a lower skill level will be assigned a higher tolerance parameter and therefore could be less accurate in aiming in order to hit the target. What we have there is basically a long-winded way of saying that higher skilled players get nerfed and lower skilled players get buffed. Where a lower skilled player might shoot somebody and hit all their shots, a higher skilled player would have much greater difficulty because the hitboxes that they're shooting at are much smaller. People on many Call of Duty titles have also suspected that it's not only the hitboxes that have been manipulated, but hit registration itself. Some people on the PC and console titles feel that the higher your skill level, the less chance your bullets actually have to register on the enemy when you shoot them. Though naysayers of this theory say it could be packet loss, bad netcode, or a number of other internet related things which have nothing to do with what Activision are actively doing in the game. Skill-based damage is another long suspected tactic used by Activision in the recent COD titles and could be described as a skilled player having to hit more shots because each individual shot is causing less damage, whilst a low skilled player would have to land hardly any shots at all because his shots are causing much higher damage. Skill-based sound, particularly footstep sound, is where skilled players have a lot harder time hearing footsteps coming towards them, so they get jumped very often, whilst unskilled players can hear things very much easier. And there it is. I believe I have covered all the major facets of EOMM and the tools in which Activision uses in order to fulfill the EOMM algorithm, which is designed to get you addicted to the game and make you spend money. Please like the video so it can reach more people. EOMM doesn't seem very strong on Warzone Mobile right now, but I believe when they introduce a ranked mode to the game, they'll crank it right up and it will affect more people than it ever did when it was on PC and console. Thank you very much for watching, guys.